Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is meeting with Secretary of State Marco Rubio ahead of a meeting with President Trump later this afternoon. The meeting comes as Iran's president says it's in a full-scale war with the U.S., Israel, and Europe. Foreign correspondent Maggie Rulli and former National Security Council Senior Director for Counterterrorism Javid Ali are here with more this afternoon. Maggie, I just want to start with you. These are provocative comments from Iran's president. What do you have for us on the latest on this?
Yeah, Faith, we're used to provocative comments from Iran, but this latest comment also seemed timed to provoke maximum reaction ahead of that meeting between Netanyahu and Trump. Now, Iran's president is saying not only that his country is at a full-scale war with the U.S., Israel, and Europe, but also claiming that the military is stronger than it was when the U.S. and Israel targeted Iran's nuclear sites over the summer. Now, you may remember back in June, President Trump ordered an attack on 3 of Iran's nuclear facilities using bunker buster bombs. He initially claimed their nuclear capabilities had been totally destroyed, but the government now says some of that enriched uranium wasn't eliminated, and it's unclear how far their program was actually set back, Faith.
And Javid, what do you make of the Iranian president's comments, and how concerned are you that this could actually lead to more attacks?
Faith, nice to be with you. And reiterating the previous points from Maggie, it's provocative, it's bold, it's belligerent. But we've heard not only the former Iranian presidents and this Iranian president say similar things, but also the Supreme Leader. And the fact that this statement was posted on the Supreme Leader's website, that is also pretty interesting. But beyond the rhetoric, I don't think it actually is backed up by the threat as described by the Iranian president. Iran is still in a pretty weak position in the aftermath of Israel's campaign against it from the summer, and then the U.S. strikes against the 3 nuclear facilities. Not saying they have no threat, but I don't think that Iran is in a position to fight both Israel and or the United States in the way it's being described by the Iranian president.
And we mentioned earlier that President Trump is set to meet with Netanyahu later on this afternoon. How do you expect this to factor into that meeting today?
So I'm sure that both Prime Minister Netanyahu and President Trump will assess the rhetoric if they haven't already, but I don't think it's going to move the positions based on the bilateral discussions going forward. Now, one thing that might be a point of discussion in these meetings is any potential future Israeli military action or even joint U.S.-Israeli military action against Iran if there are signs that it is reviving its ballistic missile and cruise missile and drone programs that it used against Israel, or as Maggie also mentioned, is it taking steps to reactivate parts of its clandestine nuclear weapons program? Those might be red lines for either Israel and the United States, but I don't think the rhetoric alone is going to cause a shift in policy right now.
And Maggie, as we've mentioned here, there's a lot on the table for President Trump and Netanyahu to talk about this afternoon, especially the possibility of talking about the next phase of the ceasefire in the Gaza war. What are you watching for as they go into this meeting?
Yeah, well, we'll be watching closely if there's any real talk between the 2 leaders that can actually push this peace plan forward and into phase 2. Now, remember, a little over a week ago, Special Envoy to the Middle East Steve Witkoff confirmed that the U.S. had met with officials from Egypt, Qatar, and Turkey in Miami to discuss the Gaza peace plan, where they say they reviewed phase 1 and began preparing for phase 2, saying they expect it to take place in the coming weeks, and it's expected to be announced in the new year. But, Faith, right now, time is so incredibly important. I can't stress that enough. It's winter now in Gaza. We've seen a horrific video of tents being flooded by heavy rain and rising seawaters. So as we're waiting on these talks, waiting on phase 2, this is real life on the ground for thousands of people, Faith.